Hi all, welcome to Guide Coachings. My name is Mozam Ali, and today we are going to discuss a question which is very typical, and it will help us to build our logic. It will help us to understand more on stored procedure front. Then it will be helping us to use the if else condition. Then and the fourth thing is it will be helping us to create a many to many relationship into the SQL. So what exactly many to many relationship is, and how it is done into the SQL part. So we will be discussing that into today's topic, and in today's question answer series we will be discussing on that. So without further ado, let's begin. So the first question is like how to how many to many relationship works into the SQL. So we will take it with example. Okay, in general what happens is we have two tables. Okay, and those two tables are connected, or sharing the details with each other on the basis of certain aspects. So if you take a student table right here onto the screen, student table, and the other one is course name. So now every student can have can enroll in more than one courses. Okay, so if you take an example of Ravish, so Ravish can enroll into Java as well, and he can enroll into SQL as well. Whereas courses table can also have more than one student. So if you see the next table or the next relationship where Java have Sandhya as a student and SQL has Sandhya as a student. Okay, and we can have Java with Sandhya and Amit as well. And in Java we can have all the three students as well, and we can have all the we can have all the mm three students. Like one student can be enrolled into multiple courses, and multiple courses, one course can have multiple students. So that is many to many relationship. That is how many to many relationship works. Okay, now this is the basic example. uh, Here we need to have the attention onto the diagram. Like we can see Ravish is enrolled into Java as well and into SQL as well, whereas Java can have Ravish, Sandhya, and Amit as well. Okay, this is the type of hierarchy which I have created just to make you guys understand that it is called as a many to many relationship. Okay, when one record of one table can have the relationship with, can have possibly with all the values present into the table 2, and table similarly on table 2 single value can have a multiple relationship with all the values present into table 1. That is called as a many to many relationship. Now we will be understanding it more by taking the example, and we will be taking this example only. And so what is our requirement? We have two tables, that is student table and we have courses table. Now uh, I want to create a third table on the basis of these two. Okay, so now there are certain rules which I need to be follow, which I need to follow. The first rule is, um, if a record, if student table have any employee, or sorry, any student, then his ID, uh, student cannot be repeated into student table. That is my first requirement. Then courses table cannot have a duplicate course. That is my second requirement. And the third requirement would be when I am creating a bridge table, that is the accumulation of these two tables. At that time it should not have a duplicate record. So if say employee, student ID 1 is coming from student table, course ID 1 is coming from one table, and I am storing it into a table, and then when I execute that query again, it should not add it. So we will see it by example, but first of all we will discuss about the principles or the conditions which we should, okay, or we must have to apply on these two tables and the third table which we are creating, the derived table. So the first condition is one student can be enrolled in many courses. That is our first condition. one student can have in can be in more than one courses. Then the second condition is one course can have multiple students. This is our second requirement. The third requirement is one course cannot have duplicate students. One course. So if suppose Ravish, so Ravish cannot be twice for the same course. He can be into the bridge table, that is student course table, with the other course, but not for the same course. Okay. Then the vice versa of the same situation, that one student cannot have a duplicate course. Okay, so Ravish cannot be for SQL, and Ravish record for SQL cannot be there. Similarly, uh, Sandhya's record for SQL will be accepted, but Sandhya's record for SQL will not be accepted. Okay, so and duplicate course, so like duplicate course is the same thing. Okay, then condition student. Okay, so now this is my condition, that student name and course name will not be provided by the user. Okay, they what we have is as a condition is username, the student name and the course name will be provided by the user, and we need to take only the user names or the student name and the course name, and then on the basis of that we need to create an id and we need to store it into our another table. So we will understand it more with this example. We will see it as a pictorial representation. So here onto the screen, if you see, we have two tables, student table and course table. uh, Student table have three records, Ravish, Amit and Sandhya. Their ids are 1 2 3. Okay, so our condition is we will pass only the name of the student and not the id, whereas we will also pass the student course name, not the id. Okay, this will be auto generated. Okay, so that is not mentioned, but we will assume that it will be an auto generated. Okay, then a third table which will be, we will call it as a bridge table, is course student or student course table, where it will have holds only ids from first table and the second table. Okay, and it should not have a duplicate record. So 1 1 should not be there, and 2 2 should not be there, and 3 1 should not be there. There should be only single record. That is what my requirement is, that is my bridge table. Okay, so this is the pictorial representation. These I have discussed about the condition, terms and conditions about this, and these are the universal conditions which we need to follow when we are creating the tables. Okay, so we'll see this on to the practical window. So here if you see on my screen, I have created I have written a query for create table. It is a simple query for create table students. Okay, then I have given the name id as integer primary key identity, and then student name as varchar. Okay, then again I have created a table as courses. Here I have given the id and course name. Okay, then create table student course. So in student courses I have given the foreign key reference. So now this foreign key is coming from my this table, that is the create table student and create table courses. So these are the foreign keys which are coming from my these two tables. Okay, fine, understood this. So we'll execute till this. No issues, right? We are able to successfully execute it. Now keep these conditions in mind. I have written these conditions just to be refreshed, that every table will have a unique record. Either it could be student table, or it could be course table, or it could be your student course table. Okay, now we have a condition. The first condition is insert the student and course in separate tables. Okay, so what we will do, we will be here, we will be creating variables. Okay, so we'll be declare, we how we create a variable, we know that declare, then we write the at the rate student name. Okay, we'll give as a student name, and then we'll uh, give varchar, and then we'll give the certain length to it, and then we'll assign some value to it. So if suppose I want to have it Ravish, so I'll put it Ravish, and then it will be in single quote actually. Okay, so this will be Ravish, and here I will declare again. I will be declaring it for, so I'll just copy and paste it. So this is my copy and this is my paste. Okay, student name, and then I will do a course name. Okay, course name. Now I will write Ravish, and then here I will be writing SQL or Java, whatever we have written. So we have written Ravish for Java. Okay, so I have written Ravish Java. Now uh, I'm sorry, here we will be writing it like this, varchar. Okay, then what we will be doing, we will be taking the IDs from there. If the student separate tables, so we need to add this into a separate table. So how we are going to add it, we will be creating again no input type of variable where we will be storing the IDs of student ID and student ID. So student ID, that is how we will be creating it. Okay, then I'm just giving you a prototype or a pseudo code where how we will be doing it. So student ID will be having now declare. Okay, so in declare we will have ID, then we will be again have a declare. Okay, here we will be having the course ID. So I want this course ID and student ID. I don't want this. Okay, this thing. So here I will put comma. Okay, then here let's ignore the errors as of now. So we are just building the logic. So now this is done. Now what I will do, I will write a select query. Select what I want to select at the rate student ID. This is my student ID which I want to select from where I want to select it from the table. Okay, just give me a second. So I will write it student ID is equals to ID. So this ID, now what is this ID? So this ID is coming from my table, that is student table. So in student table I have ID, this column. So this value is assigned to my this variable, that is student ID. Then from I will write students. Okay, so this is my table name. Okay, now what will happen? Now what will happen, this is provided to this where. Now I need to have a where condition, where at the rate where student name is equals to at the rate student name. Okay, so this is my query. It will give me the ID, but it will work only when the record is present into the database. Okay, so this will work only when the record is present into the database. But I want to handle one more condition, that if that record is not present into the system, so how I can do that. So to do that, we know like how we have done into other languages, we write like if condition. So how we write, if condition is equals to true, then we open the curly brackets, then we close the curly bracket, and in between we write something. So we write the code. Okay, so this is how we write the code now. But here in SQL, what we do, we write, if we want to write an if else condition, we will be writing if, and then we will be writing a condition into the into the angular bracket, that if student ID, if this is not working, then ideally my student ID will be null. Okay, so if that record is not present, so it will be null by default. Okay, so now if this condition is true, okay, if this condition is true, then what will happen, we will start a curly bracket. But in SQL, we do not write a curly bracket, we write it as begin. Okay, so this part is replaced with begin, and this part, the closing of it, will be as end. Okay, so every beginning has an end. Okay, so this is, remember like this. Okay, so we will have a begin and then we will write our code. So what code we want to write, that if this record is not present, if this particular name is not present, then add it, insert. So how we insert values into the table, we know that is the simplest query, we have learned into our first or second videos, or into second tutorial, where we are discussing about insert into. So insert into, then we will give the table name, that is students, uh, insert into this values, and then we will be writing what, we will be providing the at the rate student name. Okay, so we will be storing that, and what we will be doing once this is stored, now once it is stored, it will have the auto increment, we have used identity, so it will increase the value. So to capture that id, because we are dealing with the ids only, so we will capture that id. How we will capture it, so we will be capturing it with this. Okay, so we will write, we want to capture that id into some variable, so we have written that variable, and here we will be writing scope underscore identity tt. Okay, this is how we will be writing it, identity. There's something, there might be some uh, error. Scope, yeah, this is correct now. Okay, scope identity. So now this value will be stored in here in this variable. Now this scope identity will give me the id which I have added, the newly added record, and it give me the id over here. Okay, so I will be using that over here. Okay, I have not given the return type of it, so that is required. Okay, declare, we will give the integer I integer integer type. Okay, so that is how we will be giving it. Okay, then student id is given here. Now what we will do, we will uh, again will do the same process for we will do the same process for course id. Okay, so we will copy and paste it. Okay, I will just put a line over here and then I will put it. Okay, so this is, now this we will be changing for course id. Okay, so I'll change it to course id. Okay, now I have written it for course id, so here students table will be replaced with course table. Okay, courses 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 table. Okay, now here student name will be replaced with courses courses name. Okay, then at the rate, then here at the rate, it will be student, instead of student name it will be course name. Okay, so here it will be course name. Similarly we will be writing it everywhere. Whatever changes we have done, we will be doing into our script. So we will be replacing all our script with course id as well. The logic will be same. Okay, we will be inserting, select, insert into. If it is not present, then we will be writing if else condition. I'll just comment out this part. Okay, uh, so to comment out, we will be clicking okay, let it let it be. Course id is null, so now course id student insert into student, no, not, I don't want to insert into student courses, I just wanted to add it to courses table. Courses, insert into courses. Okay, so I'll copy this and I'll paste it over here. Okay, I will execute it once it is fully completed. So okay, so here it will be students, not the student courses. So now I have checked that particular entry is present, the student is present into the student table. If it is present, then I will take the id. If it is not present, then I will add it first and then I'll take the id. Similarly, I'll do it for the course. So if the course is present into the course table, I will take the id. If the course is not present, I will add the course and then I will take the id. And now I have the course id and the student id. Now I have these two ids. So what I will do, I will write insert into, now I will write a third insert into the table name, that is student courses says, and then I insert into, and then I will write the values, and then I will give at the rate student id comma at the rate student sorry at the rate course id. Course id. Why I am writing these two? Because if you see my student course table have these two values, that is student id and course id. That is why I am taking these ids, and these ids are coming from my above logic. Now once that is done, I will okay, I have not ended this. So where is my begin? So this is my begin, and once that is done, so I will end it over here. Okay, so this is my end of my if loop. And again, this is now new if loop, forget it, this is just an explanation. So this is my if condition, it is beginning over here, it is taking the logic, and now it is ending over here. Okay, so this is how we will be doing it. Now I have written it already to showcase you guys, so just give me a second, I will showcase you. I will see this, I have already written this. Okay, so you can see the logic whatever I have written over here. So declare student id, okay, here I have written the if else condition with this. So I will remove this comment part because it's just a comment. Okay, I have removed everything whatever is unnecessary. Now this is my begin and this is my end. Okay, so this is my if condition. So this particular block will not be executed every time, it have a condition. If it matches that, only then it will be executed. Okay, this scope identity will work like this. Okay, and then the same type of logic I have written for the course one. Okay, now first of all I will execute this to showcase what all values it has. It has nothing, every table is empty now. So now what I will do, I will execute this whole block of code. I will execute this whole block of code, whatever I have written. I have written it independently, so I need to select each and every part, and it will be executing from the top. So it will be executing first, then it will go inside the declare, it will take the student id, then it will go inside student id, it will take the id from the students table where student name is this. If it is not present, it will go here, student id is null. Okay, then it will insert the record. What record? Amit. So the first record which will be inserted is Amit. But I want what I want Ravish to be inserted first, and then I want Java to be inserted first. Okay, so now it will insert Java and Ravish record. Okay, and it is here. Once that is done, it will do the same for the course id, and once course id is also done, it will get the course id from there as well. Now insert into student course table. So now student course table will have my entry as 1 1. Okay, because Ravish is at once and Java is at once. So if I execute it, it executed successfully, and I will execute this as well to see the results. So see, 1 Ravish, 1 Java, 1 1. Okay, 1 Ravish, 1 Java, 1 1. Okay, that is how we have inserted. But there is one more part which is remaining. That is, if I execute the above query one more time. See, if I execute the above query, what will happen? It will not insert a duplicate record into the student table nor into the course table, but definitely it will going to insert a record into my student student course table. Why? I'll show you the reason first, and then uh, we will discuss on it. So this, see this, here is, it's a primary key, here it's a primary key. Okay, so here it will block the entry onto the create onto the student table and onto the course table. But here if you see, there's no primary key, so there's no condition to it. Okay, so that is the reason it will insert the record into the student course but not into the above two. Let's see how it works. Okay, so if I select the above question, if the above code which I have written, okay, and execute it. See, one row affected. Now I will execute this. Why one row affected? Because only the student course table will have a duplicate record. Okay, so now this is not our condition, this was not our condition. So to overcome this condition, what we will be doing, we will be, exactly, we will be doing a primary key insertion into our table, into our student course table. So now to do that, we will be writing the alter command. So we know about how to alter command works. So we'll write alter table name, that is student courses, then add constraint. So we have created a constraint, that is pk underscore student course. We have added this constraint, and primary key clustered. So now we are putting a clustered primary key onto these two fields. Okay, so these two fields, it will not take by clustering. So the combination of these two, so one can be in student id can have more than one once into that particular section. So this section can have one more than one time, or two more than one time. But the clustered combination, the clustered is this and this. Okay, so the combination of these two has to be unique. One has one is the one combination. One cannot be repeated, it will not accept it. One two is accepted, two one is also accepted. Okay, are you getting what do you mean by clustered primary key? So that is the meaning of clustered primary key. So we are applying that as well. So if I execute it, it will not give me the result. Okay, because could not, because already there is a duplicate record present into the database. So before that, before executing that, I need to remove that record. And to remove a particular record, what query we will be writing? We will be writing delete from table name, and then we will be giving where the condition. Okay, so the condition we will be giving over here. Now if I execute it, two rows are affected. Now if I execute it, you can see we have two records into one record into student and course table, but zero record in student course table. So now I will execute it. Once I have executed it, now let's execute it one more time. Okay, so if I execute this particular piece of code, okay, now what will happen? It will not create an entry into the above two table, but certainly it will create an entry into the other table. Okay, so we'll see that. one more time. Okay, you'll see this. Okay, see this. Now again this entry came into, and no duplicacy is created into the above tables. Now if I execute the same query one more time, what happens? We will see. Okay, now you guys tell me what will happen if I execute this. Okay, pause the video and record your answer, or write down your answer, and then we will see. Will this allow me to create a record, duplicate record into student course or not? Okay, so no, it will not, because we have a clustered uh, clustered primary key we have added into our table of student course table. So that is the prevention of it, and we will be having every unique record. Now we have added Ravish. Now we will be adding Amit. Okay, so Amit is a student of SQL. So I will be writing here SQL. Okay, now if I execute this code, what will happen? Let's see. So if I execute this code, you can see that my student course table has two records. Okay, my student table also have two records, and my course table also have two records. Okay, everybody have two records. Now our third record is Sandhya, and Sandhya is a student of Java. So now student table should have three records, course table should have two records, and student course table should have three records. That is our main condition. So now I will go here. I will change uh, Sandhya, Sandhya, and she is a student of Java or SQL, whatever it is. It does not make any difference. So if I execute it, observe closely, our course table has not created a duplicate entry, and neither our but our student table is updated with Sandhya's record, and student course table is again updated with Sandhya's record, that is 2 id, and 2 is for the course, that is SQL. Okay, this is how it works. Now I don't want this huge code to be executed every time. Okay, this huge code to be executed every time. So what I will do, I will create a stored procedure. We know how to create a stored procedure. So what we will do, we will write create procedure, and then we will give sp underscore student courses. Okay, then what we will do, we will remove this, because this is a variable, so variables will be at the most. Then we will be having as, and then we will be writing begin. Okay, so begin is begin, not being, begin. Okay, so once it is done, now it will be into my stored procedure, and then this will be my end. So this is my end. Okay, now if I want to execute this, so what I will do, I don't need to pass this as a hard coded value. I will be passing it dynamically. Okay, so I will be deleting this. Now I will go to the end. This is my the final end. Okay, so to execute any stored procedure, we know we write exe. Okay, then we give the stored procedure name sp underscore student courses courses, and then we give the values as Amit, and then I will give the other one as C sharp. Okay, So this ideally, if the stored procedure name is correct, it should work, and I believe it is correct. Okay, so I will just copy it and I'll paste it at the end, so we are aware how to. Okay, so is it inside it? No, it's not. So here I will write stored procedure name, and then I will execute this single line, and cannot find stored procedure. I think, oh, I have not executed this yet. So that is the reason it is not able to find it. So I will create it. Yeah, this is done now. So after this, I will be executing this line of code. Okay, great. So this is how it works. See, guys. Okay, so now whenever I want to add a myth, this huge code, am able to execute it using this one. So this is how the stored procedure work. And we have touched upon multiple topics over here. We have learnt about uh, the integrated primary key, that is known as a clustered primary key. Then we have learnt about delete. We have revised about delete record. We have you know uh, discussed about alter table. We have insert table. Then we had a discussion about if else condition. Then we had a discussion about scope identity. There are multiple topics. It's a combination, it's a fully packaged deal of every topic which we have covered into our previous sessions, or some topics which are fresh or new for this session. Okay, I hope this video is very useful for you. I found it on the internet, and I thought I should recreate it with my explanation to it. So I have created this. I hope you guys are able to understand whatever I was explaining. Thanks all for thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions, any doubts, or any queries regarding the topic which we have discussed today, you can write me a comment and we will be discussing it into our next session. That's all for today. Thank you so much. Bye.